Hello everyone, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Alberta, Canada, and happy February. I cannot believe we're already in February. Old Man Winter did pay us another visit this last week, so this morning we woke up to temperatures, I think my husband said it was minus 30 degrees Celsius, but with the wind chill, it felt like minus 37. So that being said, we are kind of hibernating and doing other things today, and crafting is a great thing to do on a day like today. So I wanted to kind of do a project that maybe felt a little more springish. Okay, so I've chosen the Beautiful Butterflies suite, or yeah, I think it's a suite of products in our mini. You can find them here, Beautiful Bouquet. That's the name of the suite. So it's on page 38 and 39. And we have a whole bunch of things in this suite. We have a beautiful stamp set, a hybrid embossing folder, which we'll talk about, with some dies. So when you order the hybrid folder, the dies come with it. And then we have some nice little, what are these? The itty bitty bouquet mix, which are fabulous for shaker cards. And then also our beautiful bouquet, excuse me, 6x6 DSP, which I have used on a couple of previous projects, but we're going to use it again today. Okay, so some great ideas for this suite and bundle of products. So here we go. So this is our stamp set. It's photopolymer. So we have some great images to stamp, as well as some really cute greetings in there. And this is our hybrid embossing folder. So this is a better photo of it, but if you want to see it, this is what it looks like. It's a big 6x6 embossing folder. And when we talk about a hybrid embossing folder, what that means for anybody that's never used one, it will cut and emboss your paper at the same time. Now you can just use it for embossing. So for example, if you wanted to just put a piece of cardstock in here and run it through your embossing machine, you'd have to use the extra plate, and always put your folders with the seam side first, leading in. If you put it this way, sometimes the pressure of your embossing machine can put a lot of pressure on this seam, and it can cause it to crack. So this way you're protecting that, so it stays in one piece, hopefully. So yes, you can just use it for embossing to make some nice backgrounds, or you can just put in a die, one of our dies, which look like this. So these are the dies that come with the folder. You have some little ones there with some little butterflies and outlines and body pieces. And then you have these large ones here. So you would just pop in one of these, for example, I'll show you as we go in our project, but for example, you would, on the side with our Stampin' Up! Logo here, you would have the little metal protruding edge facing up, and you would just sort of place that inside, put your paper on top, and run it through your folder. And I'll show you what that will look like because we are going to do that on our project today. Okay, and then our beautiful bouquet paper looks like this. It's a pack of 48 6x6, and it is double-sided. So we have some berry burst and a more sort of neutral, well, not neutral, but a different pattern on the back. This is our Calypso Coral with some of that, our Daffodil Delight, our Fresh Freesia, and this is our Balmy Blue, which actually I've used a lot of this, you can tell. And then this one, which is a little bit of all of the colors, I think, in there. So you have a really good variety to work with, and I think this is fabulous paper for backgrounds. So that's kind of what we're going to use ours for too. All right, so today's project, I got inspiration from Cindy Brownbaugh, who is a demo in the States. And this is our card, and it actually folds up like this, so you can stand it up. And when you open it, you have this other butterfly image where you can write your greeting. I thought this was just kind of pretty and fun, kind of a fun fold, I would guess, but it uses some of that great embossing folder and the dies to make this card. So this was done with a berry burst, but I thought for our video, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing you would start with is a piece of basic white cardstock, our usual base, 8.5 by 5.5, and I will post these measurements here and on YouTube. So what you're going to do is cut that and score it at our usual 4 1/4. Now you're going to use this score line as a guide to make this butterfly flap here. Okay, so you would take this large die, and if you can see on here, there are some little sort of, they're not slits, but they're little markers, I guess, on each side. And so what you're going to do with a cut side down, you would line up, you can see them here, I hope you can see them, these little marks on each end of the die. So you would line those up on your score line. And then what I did is I just tacked this down with some Post-it notes, or if you have two-sided tape or something, just to hold it in place, and run that through your die cutting machine, just like that. Okay, and when it comes out, excuse me, it'll come out like this. Okay, so you'll have this little top part of your wings will still be attached. Now we don't need this other part of the paper. So from the edge to the front of the wing, or the tip of the wing here on the score line, you're just going to snip that off. Okay, let's give that a little snip on each side because we don't need this piece. Okay, so we will just have this. Now, another thing that Cindy pointed out, which I wouldn't have even thought of until I started to put this together, is this butterfly's head in here. Now, if you'll see on the sample, the body piece that we're using doesn't match the head on this particular image that we die cut. So what we're going to do is we're just going to technically, literally, cut off our little butterfly's head. And I know that sounds terrible, but for the sake of our card, we're going to do that. So I'm just going to go underneath, and I'm just going to cut around and cut back up and just sort of snip that off. I feel terrible doing that. Yes, I do, but it is all for the good of the card. And I'm not sure why that, well, I guess if you were just going to use that particular die on your card, that would make sense. But if you're going to add any sort of body piece, I'm not quite sure why that piece is there, but it is. So we will go ahead without it. Okay, so then you can fold this on that score line there. Okay, and just, fold that down. And if you're a little bit off, you can always just sort of tidy up those edges a little bit here. Okay, just to make them straight. So this is actually going to form the front of our card. Now, what we're going to do is on the inside, we're going to attach a piece of that designer paper. So I thought for fun, we would try going with the Calypso Coral. I'm going to make something a little bit bright. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. Now you can either choose to have the bouquet circle showing or just the more, simple pattern on the back. I'm going to go for this because it's, I think, a little bit brighter too. And let's see what happens. So we'll put this on here and just center that on our base. Okay, so this is the Calypso Coral. So when this comes down, it's already, popping up this butterfly. So as you can see though, we have another butterfly piece on the inside. So to do this, what you're going to do is you're going to take this die again and just run it through another piece of basic white cardstock to get a second butterfly of the same size and shape. Okay, and then you can trim off the little connection part, and we are going to put this on down here. So to do that, we're going to line this up with the one that's attached on the front, and because it's the same size, it should line up pretty easily. Now, you will see there is a little bit of a border around here, so that's the part I want to show. So make sure you just sort of reverse it on there. You can tack it down if you want, but what I'm going to do first is put my adhesive on. Okay, so you're going to put it on the reverse side of this butterfly. You can use liquid glue, that's perfectly fine. And we're just going to line that up again right here. Okay, line it up so it looks very even. I hope you can see this on the camera. Now, my fingers are a little bit sticky. And then you're just going to fold the base up. Okay, so let me see if I can do this without touching it too much. It looks pretty even, I think. And just go slow, and you're going to fold that on and give it a press. And then it should be pretty much right underneath. Okay, you might have a little bit showing, but we are going to put another piece of cardstock down here. So not to worry, but it should line up pretty good. If you're off by a lot, you can try to, either just leave it or try to trim it. I don't know, that would be a little tricky, but that's how we would get that image to line up underneath our top butterfly flap. And this is where you can write your greeting then, okay? Now, because this butterfly isn't the size of the whole card, it's not going to stand up, right? It's going to be kind of wonky and not even. So we're going to attach this strip underneath the front butterfly so that it will be the same size as the back and it will stand up, okay? So to do that, I've cut a piece of basic white again because it matches here, 5.5 by 1 1/8. And what that's going to do is we're going to lie this down at the bottom. Okay, it'll match up, and we're going to put some adhesive just on the very bottom tip of this butterfly. Okay, of that outside one. All right, so just a little bit. Okay, so let's put this down, line it up with our edges and our corners. All right, and then you're going to bring this over and give it a little press. All right, and then he'll be attached, and then you will be able to stand your card. Whoops, this has to be a little crisper, but you get the idea, right? It's going to stand. Okay. So now we can decorate. Maybe what we'll do first is stamp. Should we stamp our greeting? I guess it doesn't really matter what order we do this. We'll do the greeting last. How about that? Let's fill up our little butterfly here. Okay, so this is where your hybrid embossing folder comes into play. So what you'll do is pick a piece of cardstock. So I chose the Calypso Coral because it matches our background. And to get this particular image, look how beautiful that is with all those details on the wings. So you're going to take your larger outline piece and lay it down inside, okay? And it doesn't really click in place, but it should sort of nestle in place. So then you would put a piece of your Calypso Coral cardstock or whatever color you've chosen. You'll close it up and then you'll run it through the die cutting machine and it should come out like this, okay? And for this butterfly, we don't need the embossing folder. You can just use this die here, this detail die, cut it through your die cut machine on a piece of basic white, and all these little pieces will fall out, or you can poke them out, and this is what that piece will be like. And we are going to use this as an overlay on our Calypso Coral. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And to attach that, all I did was put a little bit of adhesive behind this little body here. Now I am going to use some liquid glue for that because it's so tiny. And I want to, you know, our liquid glue does hold very well. Now, hopefully I didn't put too much. It'll probably seep a little bit, but that's okay. I can put a little bit off there. All right, so then with the embossed image facing up, you're just going to line up your wings and that body and just give it a little press. Okay, so there we go. That is attached now. Isn't that beautiful? Those two colors. I think that's really, really great. Okay, so then we can attach our body. So where is that piece? I did pre-cut that. Oh, here we go. So it's very small. So I took the body die piece. There are two different, two small ones and a large one. So depending which butterfly, I guess these would be for these little guys here. This large one is the one that we're going to use. So I did cut that out of basic black, but I put it on an adhesive sheet because I thought, oh my gosh, this is with the antenna and everything, that is going to be really small to put glue on. But if you're used to using your glue, by all means, go ahead. And then some people would like to, I think Cindy might have put this on with a dimensional, but I'm just going to lay it flat. So to do that, these wings are super, super delicate, or the antenna, I mean, sorry. So we're going to line those up first and then just line up the body and give it a press. And that black just pops against that Calypso coral, doesn't it? Just like it does here on the Berry Burst. I think that's really, really nice. And these wings then will still sort of have some give, you know, that they can look underneath and see that pattern. I think that's really cool. Okay, so now we can attach this with a dimensional if we wanted, but I think I'm just going to put some adhesive here. That way our wings will still, you can still sort of play around with them a little bit. So let's just put some adhesive in the center of our body here. And then I'm going to line up the antenna just sort of at the top of where that white starts. Okay, and just line up the bottom of the body. And we're just going to give that a little press here too. There you go. So there is our body of our butterfly. Really cool, hey? I think this is kind of fun. Okay, so now let's do that greeting. So I am going to use the greeting from the set. So there's, on this one I did Time to Celebrate, but this one I think I'll just do Happy Birthday maybe. This is also nice in case you need me, I'm here. If you have somebody that is going through an illness or a tough time, that's great, or just for you, we're so thankful. And we also have these dies in the dies that can cut out greetings as well. So if you don't want to stamp directly on here, if you had a different design, you could definitely cut out your greetings with those. But I'm just going to stamp directly on here. So let's use the Happy Birthday with our Calypso coral. Hopefully this is inked up. Hopefully I don't get too much of a halo on here. It's a very narrow stamp. I just want to make sure it's fairly straight too. Looks a little bit wonky on the block, but let's see. Oh, I think I'm making it worse. I'm trying to line this up nicely on here. It may be a teeny bit off, but we'll go with it. Okay, so let's stamp our Happy Birthday in the center. Give it a good press, like so. And then in the stamp set, they also have these little dots here. There's also a little butterfly image, which you could stamp on too. Maybe I should add one of those because we certainly have room on here. Let's do that on one side. Another option would be you could cut out some of these other little guys, let's say from Calypso Coral, and you could just sort of stick them on the edges too. But let's just stamp another one here because we do have some room, like so. And then on this side, we have some of these little dots here. So I think I'm just going to add a couple of those just to fill in the space. Otherwise, there's a lot of weight going on here. We do want to add some color, right? So we'll just add a couple of those dots. And last, how about we add a little bit of bling? So I have our purple adhesive back sequins from Celebration. So these you can earn for free with a $75 purchase. And there's different colors. There's purples, pinks, but there's also these kind of white ones in here. I'm sorry, mine have all been chopped apart for other projects and workshops. So they're all kind of over the place. So let's just add some of these little white ones on our Calypso Coral. Now there's two different sizes, so we can add some large and some small. I'm just going to add maybe 3, like so. Maybe this one should be more in the center. Does it look odd that it's off? I know some people are kind of OCD about placement, so we'll just put it there. So there you go. 2 different versions, different colors. Which one do you like the best? I don't know, but they're kind of fun. I don't know if this, do you consider this a fun fold? I guess it would be, right? We can put it down as a fun fold. And just something a little bit different that I think would brighten somebody's mailbox on their birthday or for any other occasion. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that project today, and stay warm if you're in our part of the country, and everybody have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.